Yo, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to another sleeper anime video. We're going to be talking about, honestly, my favorite, my number one sleeper anime ever, and that is Witchcraft Works. It is just flawless. I absolutely love it. I love that when I see videos of it, like on YouTube, Instagram, that type of thing, everyone's in the comments like, yo, this is such a slept-on anime. Glad to see someone's posting videos on this and shorts and stuff. So, honestly, you gotta watch it, and here's why. If you haven't seen one of these videos yet, we talk a lot about sleeper animes in the first part of the video, and you'll see there's timestamps. We kind of just go over what the anime is about. We don't have spoilers. If you haven't seen this anime, this is kind of going to be the part that you want to watch. But after that, you don't want to, because we're going to be getting into the spoilers. We're going to be breaking down our favorite scenes, what we really liked about it, and stuff like that. So the first part, if you haven't watched it, kind of trying to entice you to sell it to you, like, hey, you should really check out this amazing anime. And then the rest of it is, you know, just breaking down, fanning over it, and just absolutely pumping up its tires, because we absolutely love the anime and it's really good. And yeah, so let's kind of get right into it. So this anime is about your main character, Takamiya. He has, I'm going to just say it, he has the white princess sealed inside of him. Okay, and I'm saying it now because they joke a lot about it, where these witches are after his white stuff. It's the first half of the season. It's all those kind of jokes. But he's got this powerful witch sealed inside of him, and you have a bunch of other witches that are trying to take it so they can have that power for themselves. Now, there are two different types of witches. There's tower witches and there's workshop witches. Tower witches are kind of like your bad witches. They're kind of your villains. Workshop witches are witches that kind of create a contract and a bond with these cities that they reside in, and they pretty much fix up the cities. So if bad witches come in, they kind of fight them. You know, they use magic to kind of make sure there's no damage and stuff like that. So you have your good witches versus your bad witches. Really cool, right? So he's with the workshop witches. They're protecting him. The tower witches are trying to get it. Now, pretty much that's kind of what the anime is about. It's really, really good. The characters in this anime are absolutely phenomenal. They're so amazing. They're great. They're really funny, really badass fight scenes, and I mean, it's just really, really cool. The villain witches are also badass, and there's multiple of them. And you know, the good guy witches, they're pretty amazing too. So like, Blake, if you had to sell this on to somebody, how would you do it? Like, what aspects of this anime would you really want to highlight?
I would say it's like the magic itself is like really well done. Like the animation for being 10 years old holds up extremely well.
Yeah.
The scene on like when they get on the bus to leave school, I think in episode 3 or 4, and they meet like the first big villain, the chick with the crocodile. The witch
Oh,
with the
she turns it
crocodile.
into like an aquarium. Yeah.
Yeah, like that was so cool. And you have all the fish and stuff. I don't know, scenes like that. Obviously, Kagari's scenes with like all the fire, you know, and her attacks are always super cool. Like it's like a very easy watch. It's very like satisfying to watch, and like the characters are great. There's a lot of really funny scenes, and it's not too serious or like too stressful. But the plot's still good. It's entertaining, and I think like the art and the colors and everything are really, really sick. I was kind of surprised there wasn't more to it, but yeah, it's definitely worth the watch. It's very like bingeable. I felt like very easy to watch.
I think we're kind of going to spoil this one scene for you guys because it's in the very first episode, right? And I feel like it's what instantly sells you. Like, the anime sells you immediately on it. Like, it's not one of those things where you have to watch a couple, you know, kind of get the groundwork for it, and then, oh, wow, this is a great anime. Like, the first ever episode, there's the scene where he's, like, taking out the trash. You kind of see, like, people are like, all right, no one cares about this kid. Everyone's all about this princess, you know, Kagari, who is the other kind of like main character, and he's taking out the trash, and he sees like this bunny. He's like, the fuck's this? Like this stuffed animal, and all of a sudden a school is dropped on top of him, and you have this badass fight scene where we kind of learn Kagari's a workshop witch. We see some of the tower witches, and there's this amazing fight, and the animation is incredible. I mean, all these massive explosions. You're like, this is right off the bat. Are you kidding me? This is some insane stuff. And then, you know, as this ending, you know, she's holding him, and she's like, yeah, like I'll always protect you, like you're my mission. He's like, I'm your mission. He's like, yeah, I have to protect my princess. And he's like, it was so cool right up until then. You know what I mean? It was kind of like she was the knight in shining armor, and he was the helpless damsel in distress. It's just like very comedic, very funny, and it's a great mix of that where you're gonna have those insane scenes where like, oh my god, like these fights are actually insane. And I think that the fights are really underrated. Like, watching it back again, you know, to get refreshed on it for this video, I was like, yo, these fights are insane. Even talking about that one girl, the first big villain, when she kind of fights at the end, and it's kind of like a side fight that lasts like 2 minutes, like it looks like sick. Like there's a lot of this anime that just, it looks so awesome. And then again, the comedy in it is so funny. So I highly recommend, like, just watch the first episode. Like, seriously, just watch the first episode and you're gonna be like, okay, yeah, I'm watching more of this. Like it just has it all. It's so funny.
Dude, it's really funny, and like it keeps it light through the whole, like the entire season. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Through the full 12 episodes, like there's a lot of comedy, and it never gets like too like dark or anything. Like it was very easy to watch. Like
Hmm.
all the characters are different too. Like I thought they did a good job of like bringing a lot of different elements into it. Like when he meets the I don't know if that guy was the science teacher. I guess he was a teacher, right?
Yeah.
The guy with the glasses.
Hmm.
I thought he was like a classmate for the longest time.
What?
So like yeah, like as a teacher, like he kind of comes out of nowhere. Like he was a cool character that, I mean, nobody's like too important besides the two main characters. He was really cool. It's like little stuff like that they, kind of feed you throughout the season. I thought was really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like you kept saying, like it's light, and it is. It's just so easy to watch, but also it's got a great story. I thought the story was really good. I thought it was like cool to keep up with and to kind of like get into. It's something that really isn't brought into though until like a little bit into it. You know, it starts off more so with like, okay, here's the
Yeah.
scene, here's the characters, we're gonna get in some fights. It's gonna be really cool. It's more so the two main characters interacting, like Hagari and Takamiya, and then it then starts to dive into the story where it's like, and you're like, oh wow, like this is good, and like there's a lot of puzzle pieces and you're kind of seeing like how it matches up and like fits together. And at the end I feel like it did an awesome job when everything really kind of comes together. There's some amazing scenes, the fight, it was just like really good from start to finish, and I think it was phenomenal. Now why I didn't get a season two, one, because I think the year it kind of came out, anime wasn't as big as it is now. If it came out now, I feel like it would do a lot better. But also, you were saying you went right into the manga right after you finished watching it, and that it does kind of drop off. So I'm assuming manga sales also were responsible for, the first season was great, but if it had a second season, it probably wouldn't have been as good.
Yeah, and like I was really surprised because I really liked it. Like you said, the story, you don't really get like deep into the story, probably like until like episode 5 or 6. So you're like midway through it.
Hmm.
But all that like considered, you still get a lot of like satisfaction from the story because they tie it up well at the end. Like you weren't, left with a ton of like plot points that weren't explained or anything. Like for how late they introduced it, I thought they did a really good job. But yeah, like I really enjoyed it, so I went into the manga because I was kind of surprised, like why didn't it get a season two? But I think you're probably right. Anime wasn't like as popular and kind of like mainstream as it is now,
Yeah.
and just kind of goes to show you like how smaller animes can have tons of success even just 10 years later. Like kind of how the industry or whatever you want to call it's changed, which is cool. But yeah, the manga wasn't like terribly like gripping and stuff, and I know it's like a different medium, anime versus manga, but like
Hmm.
the source of the story, it takes a little bit before like the next villain kind of gets introduced and like heats up. And yeah, like you said, it would kind of be a more boring season two, but also like they focus a lot on like the school life and their interactions in school, like which we did get a lot of in season one, but it wasn't overdone. It felt like to me, like you have the scene where he's fighting, like I don't know, it wasn't all about just school. It
Yeah.
gets in that boxing match, like it was cool, but like it's not all about like their classroom interactions and stuff. So I don't know, I guess I can see how it didn't get season two, but I agree with you. If it came out like this season or whatever, it probably would do really well.
All right, I think we got to jump right into like the spoilers and kind of breaking it down, because like we have been in this little first part itching at a lot of like some of the fucking awesome scenes. So if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it, pause it, and then come back and let's talk about some like the best parts of this. I mean, yeah, that fucking boxing scene was hilarious. I actually have
It
that
was
girl
really
on
good.
the overlay. Like, yo,
Yes,
I
dude,
love
she was clutch too.
yeah, and it was so cool is that like I love how like we kind of got multiple perspectives of like this one scene that happened. Of course, the fucking ex student council goes and is like, "Oh my god, he did those awful things," and it's like, "Where's she coming from?" But we end up learning that she's like, "Oh, like just kidding." But like the other girl was so
Total
enraged.
lie.
She didn't like say, she didn't understand that. Oh, she wasn't telling the truth. Like she was lying, and she was like, "Oh, like she's mad. I'm not gonna correct her." So they started a full blown riot. And then, like, bro, like that whole setup was awesome because I feel like the riot was done so well. It looked so cool. I was like, oh my god, this is so awesome. And then all of a sudden, they're talking about her and they're like, yeah, like they call her, I forget her name, but they're like, they call her that because she's oh, bear killer. A tiger
Yeah,
named Lucky
yeah.
Bear escaped the zoo and she found it and she strangled it with her bare hands, and that's why she got the name. And it's like, yo, she's a psychopath. And then he had a fighter,
Yeah.
and then I love
Yeah.
Kagari was like rooting him on. Like you can hit a woman, you can punch her, like it's all right.
Crusher, you got this. Like, dude, stuff like that was so funny. It makes it so enjoyable. But yeah, he like she kind of came out of nowhere, and it's like, oh yeah, this like bear killer lady, she's got this crazy nickname. Now you have to fight her. Like, good luck. And Kagari, yeah, the whole time is just like rooting for him. Like, no, you can do it.
Yeah, but like the whole thing is too is that he just didn't want to like hit a girl, and Kagari's like, no, yeah, you can punch her, you can like go for it, like I
Definitely
believe
do
in
it.
you. That was also
Yeah.
so funny. Like right in oh, go ahead.
No, no, you're good.
Like right in the beginning, like I think it was like the first episode when he dropped his eraser. He literally drops his eraser. Kagari picks it up and gives it to him, and then it instantly cuts to him outside getting the shit kicked out of him. Like, how dare you force the princess to pick up the eraser, you piece of shit! And they're like
Yeah.
kicking the shit out of him. It's like, bro.
Dude, he definitely has it rough at school.
Yeah, because everyone's just like beating him up, bumping into him, hitting him because he's like near her, and they're freaking out. It's like, what the hell? So
It
funny.
was like,
Though.
yeah, hysterical because it's like the whole school is just enamored with this one girl, and like she has a friend, and they're like, that's bullshit, not allowed.
Oh, but like that was so cool about going to that like first fight where it was like huge explosions and amazing fight scene. You have that scene where she's holding him and says the whole thing like, "You're my princess, I'm gonna protect you." When he like tries to like protect her and kind of like, "Oh no, I got you," because like he got so upset her hair was burned. He runs over and he gets fucking clobbered, and she goes all Dobby mode. Yo, that was sick. When she's like, "Did you just hit him?" and just all these flames come erupting up. I was like, yo, like honestly, her, Dobby, and Endeavor, I'm taking her. I'm taking her in that situation, bro. Broken.
Oh yeah, dude, and like they did a really good job, like you said, of selling you on this anime. Like in the first episode, they make like super cool fight, but like Kagari just comes off as being like the most badass, most OP character, and she kind of is like throughout the show. But
Well, the funny thing is the MC, like Takamiya is really the most broken character. If you kind of understood what they were talking about at the end, it's kind of like if you, in Naruto terms, the MC was Kurama with Kurama inside of him as well. Like
yeah,
he was one of the strongest mixed with one of the strongest as well. Like he is broken, because he's the
and I
reason why
think,
she's strong.
yeah, it's like easy to overlook that because he's not necessarily like casting spells or like doing a ton of damage or something like that. But like, when I mean, I won't spoil it yet, but like the very ending, I don't know, like I was really impressed. Like from episode like 5 to the end, he does a really good job of like like growing up, you know what I mean, and like kind of focusing on the right things rather than like, when he disagrees with Kagari when they're flying through the sky because that girl was getting bullied at one of their classmates. Well, he like literally falls right into their trap and gets ambushed. So like they did a good job of like bringing him full circle, which I thought was really sick.
And
And
then
yeah, he is like cracked.
Yeah, and then they added the comedy of it afterwards, where it instantly cuts to them going to school, and then that Sam girl's like, "Yeah, I got fucking mugged yesterday."
I got jumped, yeah.
and then there was like an explosion, and they're all like dead. Like I have no idea what's going on. Like just casual.
That was really funny.
It's like, yo, I love how they just brought that back. Wrapped that back around. It just gave. It was like so good, and they did so many things like that were just like so funny. But what were you saying about like spoil that, like, because we're getting the spoilers now, so like let's get right into what you're gonna say.
Like the end when he kind of takes that contract on himself to like look over the townspeople when Kagari's mom is captured. It's like, oh damn, like he's like focused on the right thing and like he's doing something selfless, but at the same time like he's doing the right thing despite what might happen. So I thought that was pretty cool, and it was a really good job of in 6 or 7 episodes bringing Takamiya from being, like you said, the damsel in distress, kind of like the almost lame MC, to being like that super OP character and realizing how great his potential is.
Well, yeah, because so from what I understand, his power source, like his mana, was all being given to Kagari. Like that's why when they're close together, she's immortal and she has an unlimited supply because he really has an unlimited supply, which is why at the very end, he didn't die because Kagari gave him his power back, and his power was strong enough alone to restore everything. He didn't even need the White Princess. So like that to me is so insane about how you have, like, if you look at all like the shonens, this guy's technically like the most broken, the most powerful, and yet in the entire time in his own anime, he's the damsel in distress that doesn't do anything fighting wise. Literally.
Yeah, he doesn't do any like really offensive anything. Like he wins that boxing match, but he still doesn't like hop up on top of her and punch her. He still can't bring himself to hit a woman, which
Hmm.
respect. He's a
Yeah,
good dude, but at the
he's the
same time,
bro.
like it takes him a while to lock in and kind of like prioritize winning and what's important, and because like the story does get pretty serious at the end. I
Hmm.
think once Medusa, who like really wasn't as big a villain as I thought when they show her in that monolith, I'm like, oh, she's gonna be the final villain.
Oh
But
yeah, and then
like,
she was like chill.
dude, she just like hangs out at the house the whole time. Like she's like with those clowns. I thought that was really funny though. Like, um, her and like her underlings, like the cat girl and the girl with the eye patch. They're not like really in the forefront. They're just kind of like there to bug Kagari and Takamiya, but like
Yeah.
they do a really good job of like playing a big part in the last couple episodes. Like they all do kind of lock in and work together, which I thought was sweet. They like, I don't know, kind of gave them some depth, and like even though they were goofballs, they were like paying for rent. I
Dude,
thought that was
that
hilarious.
was the funniest shit because like in the beginning you're like, oh no, like here are the main villains, right? Because they're after him, but then it turns out that they're a bunch of fucking like clowns. Like they just like
Yeah.
they're like we're here to like. Do you remember their training arc when they're like, okay, we're gonna train, and then the one girl instantly falls. She's like, I broke my toe, and like, oh my god, like we gotta stop training for the day. That might get infected. You can get a bacteria in that. Like we gotta, and like yeah, we gotta go. Like we're done training for today. And then it kind of like again goes full circle with that whole scene of them pathetically trying to train but it not going well at all. And at the very end, they're like, okay, we've trained so hard for this time to show you what we have. And they try to like fight them, but then Kagari is so strong and they're so pathetic that she beats them up without magic at all. She just kicks
Literally
the shit
no
out.
magic.
Yeah, but like that was so funny constantly seeing them like, like we're first introduced to them as like again the bad guys, but then like we're constantly seeing them together and like kind of like being friends. Like they're just chilling at his house. Like, oh, we're gonna get him in his sleep, and then they kind of spy on him, and then Kagari's like stalking him in his sleep, and like, when is this bitch gonna go to bed? You know what I mean? And then it's
Yeah.
constantly stuff like that where they're constantly like there, and like they're trying to be a threat, but they're just not at all. And then he walks in on them in the bathroom, and he's like, "What the fuck? Why are they here?" And they're like, "We gotta get them." And it's like, "What are you guys doing? Like,
Yeah.
what?"
And even like the little sister, her interactions with them is like
Dude,
really funny. Like
she was so funny.
she was awesome. Like
Hmm.
I guess we meet her in episode 4. Like you don't even know he has a sister until
Hmm.
episode 4. She like starts grilling him like, "Oh, you hung out with a girl called. Who was it?" And he's like, "Oh, just a friend like talking about school." And she's like, "That's funny," because she like totally creeped on him the entire day and was like, "You hung out with somebody on a weekend and it was a female classmate." Like just giving him a
Yeah.
hard time like a little sister would. Like
She puts a
she,
she puts a comb to his throat and is kind of like you want to start telling me the truth, motherfucker, or
dude, she just totally grills him the whole time, and like Takamiya just has to take it. But
yeah.
then she ends up being like a super cool character, and like
Hmm.
she kind of keeps that little sister vibe the whole time. But when she first arrives with that bear and like kind of saves him, I was like, damn, all right, she's like legit, and she is.
Dude, like there were so many funny scenes like when they talk about moving in together and the mom's like, oh yeah, totally. First of all, the mom's love story was fucking priceless. Like that came
Amazing.
out of nowhere. Where she was like, okay, so me and your father, I might have cheated on him. Okay, I might have met another girl, and it's Kagari's mom, and we promised ourselves that even though we couldn't get married, that our kids would get married. But of course, it's up to you guys. And you know what I mean? It was just like it just came out of nowhere. Where you're like, wait, what? Like the mom had a love affair with the other girl's mom. Like so funny. And then of course you see the flashbacks of how they meet and all that kind of stuff, which was actually awesome. Like his mom was getting bullied, and then Kagari's mom was just like, "I'm gonna beat the fuck out of this entire class. You guys are losers." Um,
Yeah.
but when she was like sending him off, like, oh yeah, like go live with her, it's gonna be great, enjoy. The sister's like freaking out, like are you kidding me? Like what kind of mom are you? He's not a bride you can just sell off. Like what the fuck? Like have him live here. Like he's
Yeah.
mine. Like what? And she's like, oh sweetie, like you don't see it, do you? Like, and she's like, what? What do you mean? She's like, you don't remember? Like constantly saying you're scared and like running into his bed. Or trying to like bathe with him all the time, or having him beat your video games for you, and she's like, I'm his little sister. That's what little sisters do. And she's like, oh, you're too far gone. And she
Yeah.
like tackles her and she's holding her. She's like, run, I'll hold her back. And the
She's like,
sister's
just go, just go.
and then the sister's like rabid on the floor, like, stop it, like freaking the fuck out. Like, I'll hold her off. Like, you got this. Bro.
Dude, that was amazing.
So
And
many
that was like
moments.
so out of left field too. His mom is like honestly hysterical the whole show.
Dude, yeah. My God. She
I
was
thought the
so
love
good.
story, it was a good way to like bring them together and like kind of
Mhm.
comedic, but it was just like a decent natural way to like bring them actually together. She's like,
Mhm.
yeah, we promised our kids would get married. Like, yo, that is such a crazy thing to say.
Bro, it's just so good though. Like I think the mom and the sister it's so funny how you're not introduced to them like immediately, like at all. Like it's like
Yeah.
borderline like midway through the season, but like when they're introduced, like they're like staple points in this anime because they're just so goddamn funny and just so good. And I love how like they come back and like the mom's just like I forget what happened, but like the sister kind of grilled into the mom, like, "What kind of mom are you?" And then she's just like, "Oh, you shouldn't have said that." And then the mom's like depressed the rest of the day. She's like, "I'm so
He has to
sorry."
like call out of work. He has to call out of work for her because she like yelled at her. She's like
Yeah.
so violently emotional. Like you're definitely right though. They're like staples, and especially as the like ambush ramps up towards the end, um Takamiya's sister like plays a pretty big part, and like so does her mentor and
Mhm.
like the other witches. I thought that was really cool too. Like she is the little sister the whole show, but like she also has some like really cool moments where she fights and like she's very like capable.
One of my favorite scenes with his little sister actually isn't really with her. It's more so at the end. Remember how the one of the witches, the side witches, the one of the clowns, pretty much, saved her. She went and grabbed her, and she was kind of dragging her away. And the two bears, kind of like the bear and like the bunny robot, like kind of like became
Yes.
friends. And like the sister wakes up and she's like, "What the fuck? You trying to kidnap me?" And the bear's like, "No, no, 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 no! They saved you! They saved you!" She's like, "I don't care! Like I gotta fight them." And the bear looks at the robot and he's like, "Hey, it's okay. You know, just our friendship. You know, even though it short lasted." It was the best thing ever. I enjoyed so much like talking to you. It was the best time, and like the bear and like the
Yeah.
robot are like getting emotional. They're like our time will always be remembered. He's like, you can do it. And then the bear just fucking punches the robot, and the robot and the witch go flying, and the witch is like, what the fuck? Like,
That was
what was
so
that
good.
for? Like, you guys were friends. I saved her. Why are we in the air?
Dude, that was amazing. Like the scene with the bears and like they're talking to each other and trying to explain stuff.
Hmm.
Absolutely wonderful. Like little stuff like that
Hmm.
makes this anime so good. I feel like it's hard to describe. Like, I mean, you can describe a scene to somebody, but until you watch it, like, I feel like anybody would enjoy it. Like you said, if it came out now, it would probably be really successful.
Dude, if it came out now, I feel like it would kill because like when I watched that anime, like it was just like I was like, this is like the greatest anime. Like I fucking love this. It's so enjoyable. Like I said, it's this every time I see a clip of it online, which is rare. You know, everyone's in the comments like, dude, such a sleeper. Like you gotta watch this. Like thank God
Totally.
someone's talking about this because like it's just that good. It's just that funny. It's just the animation, the art style of it is just really good. The characters are awesome. The fight scenes are way above it. Like the anime is actually, when you think about how old it is, well above its time. Like it was way ahead.
Absolutely.
So like I don't know like how it didn't really catch traction or or what, but like I think it is just so good. If I have to recommend like what's my greatest sleeper ever, it is 100% this anime. I love this anime. And yeah, more people need to watch it.
Dude, you're definitely right. I feel like there's like a good reception of it online. Like if you know, look it up on
Hmm.
Reddit or, like other threads or whatever, like people really do enjoy it, but I guess it's the timing and you don't know what was coming out during that season. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
If you had other like heavy hitters that people were really into. And overall, like you said, anime wasn't as like popular and mainstream as it is today. But yeah, I was super impressed. Like the first few episodes, I'm like, all right, I'm sold. Definitely like an elite sleeper.
Yeah,
Because like
like
I've never heard anybody mention it or be like, oh yeah, I watched that.
yeah, but then like when you do and like when it's brought up, they're like, "Oh my god, Witchcraft works!" Like, dude, I love that anime. You know what I mean? It's just like
Sick.
so good, and it's like it's also because like what you're talking about with like it's hard to like explain scenes. You got to just watch it. There's so many scenes like that where it's just like, bro, I'm in tears. Like this is so fucking funny. Like it is so like perfectly paced as well. Like when you have that massive scene where the White Prince has his first Medusa and everything gets demoed. Like they're like a 10-mile radius is just evaporated. You know what I mean? And then it cuts to him waking up, and it's like, oh, where's Medusa? And she opens the curtain. She's like, oh, right here. And it's like the minions are like massaging Medusa's back, and it's like, hey, how you doing? You know what I mean? It's like, wait, what the fuck? Didn't you just blow up
Yeah.
half the town trying to fight, and now we're good? I'm like, yeah, we're fine now. I'll explain later. like, like stuff like that was just so funny. The timing. That's the one thing. This anime has perfect timing.
Really, really good point. Like the timing of like the comedic relief and stuff is really
Mm-hmm.
funny because it goes from like serious to light like pretty quick, but it's also done well. It doesn't feel forced or anything. I think that's what makes it so funny. And it's a perfect example of like if you actually sit through and watch like an anime, like you get a lot of those like funny scenes and like it helps you appreciate it more than like just trying to like, I don't know, read through it real quick. Or if you're like, I like manga, but you don't get some of that. You know what I mean? The animation just makes it so good. Some of those interactions are like even sweeter.
Dude, it is. It really is. It's awesome. I don't know, boys. I really think that this is one that everyone's got to watch. It is such a like if a sleeper was like gonna be like in the dictionary of like what is an anime sleeper? It is this anime. This is the sleeper. Like this is the sleeper. It is just so goddamn good. Like I highly recommend it. Is there like anything else you want to say about this anime other than it's just incredible?
It's super good and like you can like watch it casually, like
Mm-hmm.
relaxing. You don't have to like super focus on the plot. Like they give everything to you slowly. Like I don't know, not every show or anime has to be like super serious or intense. Like, and those shows are cool and all, but it was really nice to just watch something that was really good, really funny, easy to watch, like great animation,
Mm-hmm.
and like a lot of different really cool creative things, like the different areas, like the area with all the stars that represent people's lives. Like that whole
Yeah.
thing was super cool. Very easy to watch, and like if you're into anime, I don't know anybody that would watch this and not totally enjoy it.
Well,
Excellent.
here's the problem: is that if you're at this part of the episode, this part of the video, you've seen it because we're talking about spoilers. I probably should have said in the beginning. You know, this is subbed only, so you can watch it as
Oh
casually as
yeah,
you can watch a subbed only anime. You know what I mean? You still gotta read. You know, you gotta pay somewhat attention. But yeah, I think that that's what also could now kind of like hinder some of its popularity. Is it's not something that's just dubbed or people could just watch. You know, a lot of people don't watch subbed anime, so it's only subbed. That's one thing for sure. But yeah, dude, so good. I really hope people watch this more. If you got a friend that you think will like this anime, recommend it to them. Okay, like get more people watching this. If I have to stand and die on a hill for an anime, it's gonna be this one. Okay, I'll
this
say
is
it
it.
now. I'll say it again, and I'll say it even more. This is my favorite sleeper of all time. It's just I want to find another anime like this one again, where I just like never heard of it, don't know what the fuck it is, and I watch it and I'm like, this is masterpiece. This is incredible. The world must know what this anime is. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys love this anime. I love this anime. Blake loves this anime. We all love this anime. Anime is great. But anyway, seriously, if you think someone's going to like this, recommend it to them because it is sick. But that is it. Hope you guys enjoy. We got a podcast called the Casual Podcast. Episodes every Tuesday. If you want, subscribe, check that out. We talk a lot about anime there. And we're going to be dropping even more sleeper animes. More to come. Hope you guys enjoyed. That's it. 20-minute ending. Fuck yeah. Peace.
Peace.